Depreciation of fixed assets can be maintained in CenterPoint one of two ways. CenterPoint accounting software allows you to maintain basic depreciation details, or Red Wing software offers a CenterPoint depreciation module that calculates depreciation for you based on the type of asset it is, the depreciation method, and depreciation tax rulings. If you are using the depreciation module, you'll want to refer to topics on depreciation module. This video is going to be addressing basic depreciation. Once you have your fixed assets created, you can go to your company setup and determine how often you want to run depreciation transactions. Select Setup, Companies. We're going to edit the company and go to Additional Detail. At the bottom is depreciation information, and your depreciation frequency offers monthly, quarterly, or annually. And the difference will be in how often you want to see depreciation changes shown on your financial statements. So do you want it spread out monthly across the year, or do you want to see lump sums either quarterly or annually? So once you've made that selection, and these two options down at the bottom are for the depreciation modules, that will be inactive if you don't own that module. Now we're going to close out of here, and we're ready to put in our depreciation amounts under Setup, Fixed Assets, and Maintain Depreciation. This brings up a grid of all of your fixed assets that are active for this particular company. It lists the asset and the depreciation amount that it either was filled in here previously, or it's grabbing the amount from the depreciation detail on the fixed asset detail tab. These amounts can be updated at any time, and it's going to use this amount the next time you run the depreciation transaction. So that's where it's important to determine how often you're running depreciation, because if you chose monthly and your accountant gave you a schedule of the annual amount, you'll want to take that amount and divide it by 12 to put it in here. Or of course, if it was quarterly, you divide it by 4. But that will determine what is going to be used the next time you run depreciation transaction. And then we have the current undepreciated amount. It's calculating that figure based on the original cost of the asset minus any accumulated depreciation. So whether you have set your preference under File, Preferences, and Depreciation, I'm going to go to General and Database. This is determining whether you're using an accumulated depreciation to offset depreciation expense, or whether the original fixed asset book value is going to be adjusted, offsetting depreciation expense. Whether, it doesn't matter which one, it's going to know how much depreciation accumulated for this particular asset, subtract that accumulated depreciation from the original value, and determine what the undepreciated amount is that's left. And when it gets to 0, like there is an asset here, the 13 tractor, has a 0 current undepreciated amount. That means it's not going to be included in the depreciation transaction the next time. Even though there's still an amount in my depreciation amount, it won't take it because this is 0. So it's guarding you that it won't take more depreciation than what's allowed for that particular asset. And then you have a purchase date column, a date sold, and if it was sold and still active, like here is a forklift that was sold 2/15/19, but it's still active, so that would show you the sold date and any serial numbers. You can order your list by any one of these columns by clicking on that column, and it would just order it by that particular item. And then you're ready to go down the list and update any values that might need to be changed. So here is one for an ATV Gator snowplow that was purchased, but the depreciation amount wasn't put in. So if we are going that it's going to be 7 years and we're doing this monthly, we're going to put in $11.90 for that asset. So that's as easy as it is to update this grid whenever you need to at the end of the year, or whatever frequency. And you might see some assets that have 0. If you have more than one company, then that company that we have selected might not own this company, and then you would see 0. So if we switch to our other company, and we want to save that change that we made, it's helping us do that. And here we see the wind machine, and that has the value for that particular company, but this company has zeros for many of the other assets because it doesn't own it. So we're going to go down our list and update anything that might needed to be changed. And when you're done, then you're ready to click Save. In order for that Save button to be active, we need to make a change on one of these. But here, I'll show you. If I was to make a change, then the Save button is active, and you can save that. And now your grid is ready to do the next step, which would be creating your depreciation transactions. And we will address that in our video of depreciation transactions.